And then I realised that the coaching skills were transferable. You could actually apply the same coaching skills with corporate. So I started to do like corporate workshops, I do corporate coaching. So I was a personal trainer for years. I had traders, brokers, and I started to apply the coaching models and some of the NLP stuff with the traders. So really, really effective. I've always been looking for the holy grail of the best tool that's out there to really, really get into kind of like your mindset, right? So as a coach, everyone knows about values and beliefs. Anyone know about values and beliefs? Yeah. So it's knowing what your values are and what your beliefs are. So once you know what your values are, it's making sure you're aligned with your values, and the beliefs, you're going to have limiting beliefs and positive beliefs. With motivational mapping, I found a tool that can be done 10 minutes online. It can really identify what motivates you, yep, and what least motivates you. Individually, it's amazing. I use it with every client I've got, and I'll go back and use the map again and again to check, 3 months later, if they've made those changes, if their needs are getting met, their motivations are getting met at work, okay, in their career. You spend most of your life in your job, in your day job. So it's making sure you are fully motivated, you understand what motivates you, and you make the right choices with your career. In a team situation, it's amazing. Team dynamics, it's absolutely amazing. Before we start, just get a little bit of interaction going. A bit of a teacher. I like the flipboard. So, motivation. What is motivation? Any ideas? Encouragement, being excited. What motivates you individually? What motivates you? What motivates you? So you're here, and the property. What's property? Okay. What is it about property? Freedom, okay? So freedom. So you're motivated by freedom, okay? Anything else?
Doing a deal.
Doing the deal, the buzz. Yeah? So what is it about the deal?
Working out what's different.
So is it contrast, what's different? So variety? Is it the...
Doing the deal.
Okay, so doing the deal. So doing the deal, okay. If we broke it down, there's probably a lot more to doing the deal, what it means for you, getting into the values. There's a buzz about the deal, there's a bit of adrenaline, a bit of excitement, right? So let's do excitement, that's a good one. Can't spell it today. Okay, anything else?
Wealth.
Wealth, good. What is it about wealth? What motivates you about wealth?
Choice.
Choices, freedom, choices. Anything else about wealth? What else can it do for you? What's that? What you can buy, so choices, freedom, give back, so paying it forward, freedom, gratitude, gives you gratitude, putting something back in. What's that?
Security.
Security, perfect, that's good. Security. Security, anything else? So I've worked with some clients that wealth gives them the bling bling factor, gives them status, significance, yeah, they got a lot of status from it. So the bling bling, the rappers and the pop stars and stuff, they get that bling bling, they talk about how much money they've got and the lifestyle they live, so it can give you status. Anything else? Anything else? Go on.
Creativity.
Creativity, yep. Who's creative in here? Put your hand up if you're creative. Nice, good, good, good. Put your hand up if you're motivated by security. Put your hand up if you're motivated by both. I get a bit confused by it. So what we're doing is we're getting into here, they're getting into like a bit of an internal opposition, a little bit of a conflict, being creative, okay, and also having the security. So freedom and security is a classic conflict in coaching. So I worked with a trader, so a money euro trader. His biggest conflict that come up was, we spoke about he earned £1 million profit. So I'm sitting there coaching thinking, right, okay. And he wanted to earn 5 million. Okay, profit. So he worked out 5 million and we gave him £25,000 a week to live on. So he had this kind of equation. So that with the investments and stuff, or monthly or whatever it was. So the thing is about coaching, you don't need to be the expert. Yep, they're the expert. Everyone's got the right resources. You haven't asked the right questions. Coaching's about getting the right questions, stimulating the thinking, digging deep within yourself and finding out what those answers are. The limiting beliefs that come to the surface. It's quite intriguing what comes up. As the conversation went on, security was a must, was a really important thing for him, yeah? And what became apparent, you know, as you do in coaching conversations, as a child he had no security. Yep, he strived, not knowing, you know, really, really hard life as a kid, no security. So as an adult, like learned behaviours, the imprint stage, striving for security. He's going to make sure that his family were going to have that security no matter what. And it became like an obsession. This became like a driver, a real driver, so much so that he was out of balance. You know, he had a 6-bedroom house in Shenfield, he had all the cars on the drive, you know, had a sort of a girlfriend that was, if he didn't have the money, I don't know if she'd be around, but he had that kind of lifestyle, yeah? And he felt kind of, in some ways, that he was a little bit trapped in that kind of lifestyle. So working all the hours God sends, no time to enjoy it. So what came up was the conflict, security and freedom, okay? And in the end, it wasn't about the money. It never is, right? It's never about the money. So what came to the surface was this freedom and security. And it was a real conflict, and it was basically reframing. It was looking at changing, shifting like perception, looking at, well, actually, how much security have you got now? And how much more will you need? And in the end, it was like, yeah, it's ridiculous, £1 million profit, okay. Then he started to change the perception, look at all the things he could do with £1 million profit. Then all of a sudden, he started to ease his mind, changing that shift, coaching him through a little bit of a value shift, not losing the value, still there, it's important, but a little bit of a shift. So the freedom went to the top. Love's got in there because he valued love and family, and there was no love and no family because he had no time for anyone. So it was a real shift. It was a real shift in values. And all of a sudden, I've coached him again 5 years later. He's got 2 kids. He's happily married. You know, now it's about a legacy. So now I'm coaching on how am I going to get this for the future generations. Coach me on this. I need to know how I can set up like what you are doing, setting up a legacy, that future generations, so making sure not just you're okay, but your family generations, future generations are okay. So how does that link to the mapping? Well, this takes a few sessions. Sometimes it takes, you know, 2 or 3 sessions to get into the kind of like value system. You'll get it in a conversation naturally as you're talking to someone. They'll talk about money, they'll talk about what motivates them. So here you have a cluster, 3 clusters. You have growth. So under growth, you're a cluster of growth. You have spirit, creator, searcher. Under relationships, you have friend, defender, star. Achievement cluster, you have builder, director, expert. There's 3 clusters, yep. So if they're too dominant in one cluster, so too much in the achievement, you're looking for a balance of all the 3 clusters. So when we get your map results back, we're looking for balance, okay? If it's too extreme in the achievement and too low in the growth, what you might find is you've got the achievement, the business is doing really well, but you might be lacking in relationships at work and real team building events, like keeping your team motivated, yeah? Same with this. This can be, if this is dominant, this can be a problem when it's coming to change management situations in teams. Also, if you're high over here, you're high friend, high defender, high star, I'm going to explain in a minute, it can be really, really hard to change. It can be a real problem. It can be quite hard, actually. So, next one. Perfect, that one. There we go. So just quickly, those clusters, what we just showed you there, it just shows you, this is just an arrow showing you about change. In a change management situation, in groups of people, I was doing a team map, it would show you how good these are for change. So I coached a team of people, high creators, high spirits, all in, it was a graphic design team, yeah. So their change, their index of speed, their change is great. Any changes come in the company, they're like, let's go. Brilliant, what's happening next? What we're doing? Got some changes coming in, we're going to change. They love it, absolutely love change. It's fast, right? People here went to an insurance company, okay, not just saying, really good at what they do. The boss was a high defender, scored really high on defender, really high on star, not too high on the friend, but the guys that worked with him was very high as well. Change was coming. The change was coming, yeah? So very, very hard to change, really not knowing where they're going to be in a year's time, 5 years' time. Their strategies as well to help these different motivations, to really, really help individually and help other people to communicate. What it does, it helps you become a flexible communicator, because there's 9 motivations. We'll go through that now. So we've got relationship, achievement and growth motivators, what I spoke to earlier about the clusters. So the defender seeks security, predictability, stability, yeah. The friend seeks belonging. Friend friendships, fulfilling relationships. The star seeks recognition, respect, social esteem, yep. So you've got the director seeks power, influence, control of people and resources, yep. The builder seeks money, material satisfaction, above living, average living, yep. So they'll strive to have that nice life, the nicer things in life, yep. The expert seeks knowledge, mastery, specialisation. Over here we've got the kind of flowery, fluffy ones. No, I'm joking. There is a place for this. I'll show you in teams and how it works in yourself as well. So the creator seeks innovation, identification with new, expressing creative potential, loves change, yep. The spirit seeks freedom, independence, making own decisions, like the mavericks that you get in teams, that if you're a bit of a maverick, you like to go and do your own thing, not be micromanaged or told what to do. These are your high spirits. The searcher seeks meaning, making a difference, providing worthwhile things. So the search is all about meaning and purpose. If you're a high searcher and you're scoring quite low in what you do, you're going to get bored quickly. You're going to really find, it doesn't matter how much money you're getting paid if you're not up high on the other one, you're literally going to lose, straight away you're going to lose, or you're not getting positive feedback for what you're doing. You're doing a good job, but you're not getting the feedback. You're not getting positive feedback. It's just not enough for you. You're going to lose motivation, yeah? So put your hand up if you can. I'm just going to go through, we'll just get a little bit of interaction going. So defender, put your hand up if you think you're a high defender, or you can see yourself with a defender profile. Security, predictability, stability. Put your hand up if you're a defender.
Is that like the only one?
No, we're going to go through. I just wanted to get you thinking about what do you seek security, stability in what you do? Put your hand up if you're like quite a, yeah, good. So insurance, here we go, classic. Good. What about friend? Who's a team player? Who loves the team events? Yep, there we go. It's really interesting what you get in the room as well. Okay, what about a star? Who seeks recognition, respect, self-esteem? I know if you're a star, you put your hand up. Yeah, I'll give you the recognition after, definitely. I'll get you up here. Okay, so director, power, influence, control people and resources. Bit of a control freak. That's all right. It's healthy. It's just known when it's too extreme. Yeah, there's out of balance. So the builder seeks money, materials. So I think we're probably all builders right in here. Yeah, good. I'd be worried if you weren't a builder. Expert, so who loves to be the expert, loves to be the problem solver, loves to want to know, yeah, good, a lot of experts in the room, good. So the creator, who loves innovation, yep, it's a blessing and a curse, and I'll tell you why in a minute. It can be a good thing and a negative thing sometimes. The spirit, who likes to be the maverick, left alone, got your own company, do your own thing, hate to be micromanaged, right, being told what to do. What about searcher? Who's searching for meaning and purpose, what they do? Good. So we've got like a real mixture in the room. A speed dating, that's next door. I'll be there in a minute stripping. So, okay. Get a pan in the jar. Right, okay. No, I'm joking. So what this does as well, just through this, looking at these motivations, these 9 motivations, you can really become a flexible communicator. So when I go in to companies, and I basically go in and I'll brief the manager on his team what his dominant motivators are, he can really work on his communication style. He can really become a flexible communicator. You can also, in your individual map, work on your own flexible communication style. You can start thinking, actually, I'm hearing this person ask for information, ask for a plan. That would be a clue as they're being a high defender, a strong defender. They want to know where they're going to be in a year's time, in 5 years' time. You cannot give a defender enough information, even if it's the same email with the same message every hour, every day, right? You cannot give a defender enough information. When you know these motivations, you can really manage yourself, find out what your weaknesses are and how to manage others to become more flexible with what you do. And it becomes transparent. You just realise suddenly it's not personal. It's not personal. Just because I've come up with loads of ideas and I've come up with this brainstorming, this great new idea, and then the defender comes in and says, no, that's not going to work. I've been there, done it, that's not going to work, right? You know, it's not personal, right? This person, you need both. You need both. You need a balance in your own life and in teams as well, team dynamics, yeah? So, cluster analysis. This was an example of the team that I was working with. This was the graphic design team, yeah. So there was a team of like 6 or 10 of them. So as you can see, no surprise, their massive cluster analysis is on growth. So it's all there was a load of mavericks, all want to do their own thing, right? Go off and do their own thing, yeah. There was, what was suffering the most was their relationship. There wasn't very good relationships and managing relationships with clients. They was going off, they wasn't really understanding the client's needs because they were like, yeah, I know what you're doing. I can do that logo for you. Yeah, I'll go off and do that without listening to the client because they're the maverick. They want to go and do their own thing. So they think that when that's your motivation, your top motivation, that's your model of the world. You tend to think everyone's motivated by the same thing. You know, so I think everyone's motivated by exercise. So you tend to think, everyone, yeah, they'd be up for that. Let's go for a run. So you tend to think everyone's motivated by the same thing. That's your model of the world, right? So in terms of the growth stuff, they were so focused on growth, on the creators, being the spirits, the mavericks, and the achievement was okay, it was there, but the problem was the relationships were suffering. They really were suffering. So this is a motivator account, don't worry about that. So the change index scores we already spoke about. In terms of change management and a team, great, really good. Changes coming in the company, brilliant. They're the guys. You don't need to give them loads of information. If it was the other way, defenders and friends, you need to give them loads, you need to manage it differently, right? So very good on the change index. The team is 57% motivated in their current role. It's not particularly a good score, it's all right, but you're not going to start losing people yet. This is really good at predicting when people, individuals or teams are completely demotivated. This is when you're going to start losing talent. This is what I mean, it saves money because you find out what motivates the individual, what motivates yourself, also reward strategies. You can then communicate to someone else what actually motivates you and how to reward you. Yeah? So, this was the team data. So, this is what I get. They get a team report and I get this report back. I get this kind of personal report. This is what I present to the manager. So, here you can see your top motivators. Yep. So, Damien, you had Marcelo. Marcel was the boss. He was the manager. Really, the top scores, a lot of it was searcher. Lots of searchers looking for meaning and purpose what they do. High creators, the ones I'm going to pick out, the first thing I'll show you here is the actual scores. They're in individual motivation. So this comes up on an individual map as well. How motivated are you in what you do? And it comes up with a personal score. If you're down at 40%, that's quite low motivation. It probably means you're going to leave your job or you're going to be unhappy and just, you know, grin and bear it sort of thing, you know, and just moan about your day. Problem is when you're demotivated, it tends to be like, if you're highly skilled and demotivated, it's quite a dangerous situation in a team because it will spread like anything. That person's negging the whole team out. Yeah, so it is really good to spot this. So here, looking straight away, 62% not bad, 68 is a high score. The lowest, Pietro, was 42%. Yeah, he was really demotivated, right? I'll tell you for why. What came up, this is I mean about transparency. His top motivator is star, recognition, visibility. He's sales. You'd expect that, right, from a sales guy, right? If you look here, star, 26, top motivation, 1. It was only 3 out of 10. This is your PMA, your personal score out of 10. Is that motivation getting met? So 6 out of 10, obviously 7's a good score, 8's really high. So like looking at sort of 4s and 5s is quite low. Him being at a 3 and in sales is lethal. Yep, he's really, really demotivated. When we spoke about this openly, it's really transparent, and again, it's not personal. The manager didn't even know. So I said, in terms of recognition, visibility, do you feel like you're getting the recognition you deserve? And he was embarrassed. He said, no, I don't. And the manager didn't even know that. You know, he didn't even know that. So it's really good. All of a sudden, you can increase someone's score just by recognition, going, you know what, change your language with that person. You can change your language style, your communication style. So even if you're scoring low, think about other people in the room, the 9 motivators, the people you meet each day. You can then be flexible with your communication. You can adapt it. You can think, actually, they mentioned details there. They mentioned lots of details and training and learning. That's probably a high expert. So if I match that language, talk about being the expert, I'll get on really well with that person. Yep, there's loads of things you can do. So it brings up the potential conflicts as well. Potential conflicts being high director. So Marcel actually is the manager, so you want him to be a high director, right? But the problem is he's got a team of mavericks. There's a lot of spirits in the room. There's a lot of spirits. They all want to do their own thing. They want to be kind of like, so he's trying to micromanage a team of mavericks. right? My advice was him how to change his style, change the reward strategies. So one of the reward strategies was, look, if you get this done, you can have flexible working hours. You can work at home for a day. That's proper motivation. For someone who's a high spirit, to be able to work from home, have a day off, 2 days off, or get their target done and have like flexible hours where they finish earlier, that's more freedom. Whenever you increase in freedom, that's going to make the high spirit, stand up, right, basically. So from here, what else come up as well? Irene, I could look at that map, and this is how good maps are. You can look at maps and look at people's changes. As you get older, you're always going to want more freedom. Less responsibility and more freedom, right? That's what everyone's working towards. So maps over time, this is what I like about maps, they change. I can map you 6 months' time, now and in 6 months' time, and the map may have changed completely. Your motivations always change. As you get older, when I had my son like 3 years ago, my motivation changed, my map changed. Basically, all of a sudden, you know, Defender, the thing I really didn't like, all of a sudden I'm embracing structure. I'm embracing something I never did before. You know, if you put me in a room of a high Defender back in the day, I would have gone, yeah, job's worth, and walked off. I would have walked off, basically. So it kind of like, there we go. I would have walked away from it because I would have been, oh, you know, they're always talking about details, and you can really understand people. If I'd known this back in the day, I probably would have really, really increased my communication. I probably would have got a lot further where I am right now. It would have changed my life, basically. Knowing this and your own motivation style can change your life. And it also, it helps you understand impulsiveness. You know, if you're motivated if you're a high creator and you want change so much, and your Defender, like me, is really low, but your creator's really high, you want change so much, but your Defender becomes a bit of an issue. There's no stability and security at what you're doing. And all these guys here, great with ideas, no one was following through. They're missing deadlines. It was an absolute nightmare. So, poor old Irene, she's motivated by stability. See a Defender, she's actually second motivation is Defender. So here we go, 26, no, third motivator was Defender. 26 is quite a high score. Anything in the 20s is definitely a good score. It's definitely worth asking about as a coach. I would ask you, if it's in the 20s, okay, in terms of having freedom and to make your own decisions, be your own person, be your own boss, be the maverick, how's that working for you right now? And you'll give me this answer relating to that score, yeah? So in the 20s, definitely worth asking about. Anything that's 30 plus, 33s, 32s, is what we call a spike, yep? A spike is an absolute must. It's a real driver for that person. This is when they can be out of balance, literally. We had to do a presentation to a guy who had a consultancy. I said, as a little bit of a trial, can we do this map? We're doing this trial thing with motivational maps, just to see if the maps were true. So we've done his map, of course. His builder was really exceptionally high. It was about 30. His builder here, it's not on this map, but his builder was so high, it was like 36. And I said to Damien, I said, the guy was presenting to, I said, listen, this guy is just going to want to know how much it's going to cost. Will it losing money or gaining money, right? And his friend was really low, so his high builder, low friend, and it normally reinforces that profile. So we had 2 different presentations. One of them, this is what I mean about your motivation is your model of the world. Damien is a high-end creator. He's really creative. So he came up with this slide with his lovely stories and creative storytelling. And I said, right, do another slide, set of slides, another decks with money, profit, loss, you know. We did 2 variations. We sent him both and asked for his feedback. And I'm going to swear because it's exactly what he said. He said, Damien came up with this story about frogs not knowing, you know, when the temperature goes up in a pot of water, the frogs boiling to death. But in actual fact, it's a fallacy. The frogs know when to jump out. So his whole storytelling it ends up being Be More Frog, which is great. You know, and I thought it was a great story because I'm a high creator, so that's my model of the world. But Paul goes like, yeah, I'm not sure about the frog bollocks. Not sure about the frog bollocks, but I like the other one, right? So what it does, it just shows you what is motivating that person, right? So it's pointless wasting your time trying to convince someone your model of the world, right? You want to understand what motivates them. So team situation, really good. You can see the low scores here. You can give that person, you can target your attention on the people that are demotivated. You're going to start losing these people. just by changing language, you can increase their scores. You can measure it. It's something that can be measured. That's what I like about mapping. It's not like a little bit of a, a bit of a kind of hippie, happy clappy. Yeah, it's good. Do your feedback form. You can measure this. The guy that created it, James Sal, he's an ex-head teacher. I mean, I think he's a genius the way he's done this. 10 minutes online. Do it on your own, in your own time. I get report back sent within an hour. We set up a consultation time, either Skype or meeting, to go through your map. And it's literally, the algorithms works it out immediately, whereas this would take me quite a few sessions to get into it. I feel like people are more open when they've got like a questionnaire. They try and trick the questionnaire sort of thing, and it gets straight in the algorithms. So it's a very, very effective tool. It's very good personally. So this is an individual map. This is an example of an individual map. So that was a team map. This is an individual map. Can anyone notice something about the scores and the motivations? We know what the nine motivators are. Can anyone notice anything? Analysis, what we know so far, anything that's coming up quite low. So look at the PMA out of 10. What's quite low at the moment on the score? Yeah, defender and builder. Two things that are lacking. Yeah, so finances, financial reward for what they do, and also stability and security. Yeah, it's scoring really low. So the first thing to look at, I always look at the lower score, and then also as a coach, you're going to get into them limiting beliefs straight away. You're going to get into a value system, and with those limiting beliefs, what holds you back? Because these kind of like, can you be the maverick? Can you have the freedom you want and do your own thing and still have the security, right? This is a classic freedom and security. Brings it up straight away. So can you have freedom and security at the same time? The score as well, if it's below a 10, we call that a hygiene factor, yeah? So a hygiene factor, the very lack of that score, that not being present, could be an issue. That may be a problem, creating stability and balance in that person's life, yeah? And also, if this is low, you're never going to get the builder high either. You're never going to make more money. So the hygiene factor being low is a really good way of saying, actually, the lack of this security and stability is causing a problem with this person reaching their goals and getting their motivation up, yeah? Friend is really good as well. So these up here, though, you can see the classic, what we call internal oppositions are, being the friend and the director. Can you be a friend and still be a director? That's a classic. So I had a guy who was HSBC really high up, mapped him. He came up high friend. Number one was friend. His second one was expert. And his lowest one was director. And he was in charge of a massive team. The issue, what do you reckon the issue would be, being a high expert and a high friend and a low director for someone who is a director? Can you see the conundrum that you might face? That in actual fact, it was bringing up the internal opposition and it was really, really creating a problem. So what was happening was he was being friends with everyone, right? And not being able to delegate and direct them and tell them what to do. And because he was friends with everyone, he was the expert as well, so the problem solver. So friend and expert is quite a bad combination sometimes because he couldn't say no. Could not say no. So his whole day was sorting out problems and he couldn't say no to anyone because he wanted to be everyone's friend. He's motivated by it. He'd be a great team leader, team events, but the motivation is probably not the best thing, not the best job for him. So in recruitment as well, it's really good at identifying what is the ideal role for that person, yeah? So any questions so far? Just looking at the time. Any questions so far? Go on, Alex.
So if somebody's not making progress in their property journey, then
Yep.
is it a question of using the wrong motivational fuel?
Yes. Sometimes it's looking at the map, finding out kind of where the motivation, where the problem is, where the low score is. Is there an internal opposition? You're looking at the values. Are you aligned with your values? So you say you're getting into property, you're a high creator, high spirit, your defender's low, and it may be that you need to team up with my strategy, my action plan for my own map is actually, I do really well with defenders. The people I used to avoid, in actual fact, they're the best people for me. And actual fact, I can learn, it's not personal, they're not putting me down, they're not bursting my bubble, you know, I'm now teaming up really well. I'm actually learning more than I've ever learned before because it's not personal, actually. They're motivated by it. And sometimes they say, you know what, I'd love to have your mindset and just go, yeah, it's all right, you know, be adventurous, spontaneous. And we've got this kind of like crossover. And it works really, really well. And it just gets you over, you know, like you get teams of people that one's motivated by money, one's not. The other one's motivated by my freedom, and the other one's, you get in teams and someone wants to have more freedom, the other person wants to have more money, it takes up more time, so you get a little bit of conflict in teams like that. But it really, really does get into the value systems of everyone individually. Good. Any other questions so far? So yeah, it's a really good question. Any other ones about? Yep.
You said that the freedom security is a common
Yep.
conflict. Are there any other common conflicts?
Yep. Being the friend and being the director. So you've got being spirit and director as well. Wanting to have freedom, managing a team. You've got spirit and expert, which can be a conflict. So I had a client that was getting a job at HSBC. She'd been offered lots of money for it. We did a map and she was high spirit, low expert. And I said, look, you are not going to be motivated for this role. Look at your map. You come away from accountancy because you didn't like the facts and figures. And now you've been offered this new role. You're managing a team of people and you're a bit of a maverick, right? And then your defender's really, really low, right? So your expert's really low. So there's a conflict. So I said, look, but you've got to go for your own experience. You're going to learn either way, right? So go for your own experience. She went, you know what, I'm going to go for my own experience. Go for it, right? Mapped her again. She was like, you know what, 2 months like, this is a nightmare. And what it does, and then a motivation score is all of a sudden it's dropping. It's going low. She's getting demotivated. Now she's at a place where she's going to leave. She's going to leave. Now that is still a bonus. Because you go for your own experience, you'll still learn from this. Your map, it doesn't mean the map's always right. You still put experience before results, right? Go for your own experience, remap and see how the map changes, right? So in doing that, trial and error, you know, because there's never failure, only feedback. She got some feedback from her experience. So she changed it. Now she wants to be a nutrition coach. So she's qualified. All of a sudden her expert's gone up. She likes to be the expert. She's coming out of banking and wants to be a nutrition coach. So she's got a complete life change. So the map now is starting to line up. The scores are going higher and higher. It's a sideline at the moment. Sorry, Bronwyn. Get.
So just to let everyone know that you mapped John and myself.
Yeah.
So it's interesting as a life partner
Yeah.
to see the differences between what you do. And this guy was just so enthusiastic. I can't sing his praises enough. But I mean, he was just trying to nail us to actually time to talk.
Yeah.
We had 2 separate sessions, and spot on, absolutely fascinating.
Yeah.
Really, really useful.
Yeah.
So if you want to do it with your business partner or your life
Yeah.
partner, it's hugely.
Even your relationship, yeah. it's good. So, you know, at the end of the day, this tool, it really does help you it brings up the limiting beliefs, the values, your value system as well. But imagine your life where you actually understood your motivation. What motivates you, what motivates other people, right? How to communicate, become a flexible communicator, how to sort of resolve your own kind of internal oppositions, you know, and I go back and measure it, not just like fill out a form, yeah, that's good, I feel better, you know, mark it out of 10. It actually measures it, to go back and have something you can measure your results. So I go back to that team in 4 months' time, and we look at the changes that have been made to measure it again. So we've got things like hot buttons, words to use that really captivate and motivate that person. So details. You talk about business partners, I nearly finished. 2 business partners, one was high spirit, high expert. So the one was high spirit, low expert, the other one was high expert, low spirit. They was in a team, and I did their results on Skype with both of them. It was 2 different conversations. Like the other guy was going, yeah, it's really good. So what's the quick wins, right? Lack of detail. And then the other guy's going, whoa, yeah, but I need to know more detail. Like, so literally, and their relationship really worked. They'd already worked out that what they was good at. The other guy was good at selling, high spirit, low details, yeah. But the problem was he was missing important details. A little bit like myself, 100 miles an hour, like, hold up, yeah, you've sold it, but what are the details? And the other guy was really good with the features, the benefits, the expert, you know, and they go up and present together and they go, he's the expert, and it worked really well. It was good synergy, really good. They already had that, and it just showed you, I had 2 different conversations. But as a coach, it just makes you flexible. You're like, okay, we've got 2 different conversations here, 2 different energies. The quick wins, Dan, this is really good for you. Change, speed up my speaking. Slow it down for, you know, the other guy. Yeah, this is really good. So imagine you've got this, you know, you've got a conflict here. You slow it down. You go through the details. Different conversations. Good. Any other questions? Good. Thank you very much.
Jamie, we'll give him a round of applause for
Thank you. Oh, Mattings.